everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Tonight I wanted to highlight 10 of my favorite artists from my home state of Pennsylvania. So I'm going to give you my 10 favorite artists from the great Keystone State, along with a couple honorable mentions, and just sort of highlight some of the great music that has come from my home state of PA. As you can see, I've got my Eagles hat on here to sort of represent my home state, also trying to hide the fact that I really freaking need a haircut. So let's start off with some honorable mentions. I'm not necessarily a fan of a lot of these artists, but I kind of feel like I just have to mention them just because they're huge names. Of course, Taylor Swift is from West Reading, Pennsylvania, which is in the southeastern part of the state. Not the biggest Swiftie in the world, but since she is pretty much the biggest pop star on the planet, kind of feel like I have to mention her. Definitely preferred her earlier stuff when she was kind of like a teen country star. Now that she's sort of a run-of-the-mill pop star, I find her, I don't know, a lot less appealing, and she's basically made Kansas City Chiefs football about impossible for me to root for now, and that's coming from an Eagles fan who still loves Andy Reid. So between Taylor and Travis Kelce, I about can't stomach the Kansas City Chiefs anymore, but that's getting off topic. Pink, not necessarily a big Pink fan, but she hails from Doyle Township, Pennsylvania, which is also in the southeastern part of the state, close to Philadelphia. Halestorm, they're from Red Lion in the south central part of the state, York County. I don't really know that I'm that into Halestorm, but Lizzie Hale does have a tremendous voice. She's been touring with Skid Row lately, so I think that's kind of cool because I do know that Halestorm has a pretty sick cover of "Slave to the Grind." Otherwise, always appreciate her voice. I think she's got a fantastic voice. But any Halestorm song I've ever heard on the radio never really got me that into them. But I do want to mention that they are from Pennsylvania. Joan Jett, I know she went to California before making it big with the Runaways and formed her own band out in California. But Joan Jett was born in Wynnewood, Pennsylvania, which is in the southeastern part of the state, which seemingly is where a lot of these artists are from. So, how about Bill Haley in the comments? They're from they originated from Westchester or Chester, Pennsylvania, right outside Philadelphia. And speaking of Philadelphia, I kind of feel like I have to mention Will Smith. Again, I'm not a rap fan, so I'm not really that big on Will Smith's music, but he's a pretty big figure from Philadelphia. Not necessarily a big movie buff myself, so I don't really follow Will Smith in that regard, but I do enjoy The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's probably my favorite project that Will Smith has ever been attached to, so kind of felt like I had to mention Will Smith, or else that'd probably be a little bit of a slap in the face. So let's get into my top 10 here. Coming in at number 10, I'm going to go with Hall & Oates, rock pop duo. They come from Philadelphia, PA. Not the biggest Hall & Oates fan in the world, but I do like some of their songs. I really do enjoy the song "You Make My Dreams Come True." I think that one's quite good. But of course, they have some other big hits like "Man Eater" and "Kiss" on my list, and I can't go for that. So tons of notable hits from the early to mid '80s. I know there's been a lot of drama with these guys right now. I think, was it Daryl Hall is suing Oates for some reason. I don't know. I don't really follow it that much, but I have heard some rumblings about something going on with those two. But they got enough tracks that I like that I kind of wanted to slide them into the number 10 spot here. Number 9, another band that I'm not really a big fan of, but I'm going to go with Poison from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. That's close to the Harrisburg area. Poison, of course, moved out to California before they really made it big, but they do hail from Pennsylvania. I love the song "Fallen Angel." I think that song's great. I also love the song "Ride the Wind." By far my two favorite Poison songs. Other tracks I don't mind. "Cry Tough" is all right. "So Tell Me Why" is pretty good. I never need to hear "Every Rose Has Its Thorn" ever again. I never need to hear "Unskinny Bop" ever again, and I never need to hear "Talk Dirty to Me" ever again. Those three songs I am so over. But those Poison songs I do like, those 4 or 5 tracks I do like, I can still enjoy pretty well. So, coming in at number 8, the band Live. They're from York, Pennsylvania. Throwing Copper, solid album. I used to own it. I don't anymore. I forget. I forget who I gave it to. I think I might have given it to my friend. If I didn't, then I probably just sold it in my great record purge. But Throwing Copper, solid album. Selling the Drama, love that track. I Alone is great. Lightning Crash, All Over You, really good stuff on that one. So beyond Throwing Copper, don't know a whole lot more about live, but that is a pretty solid album with some pretty essential mid '90s alt rock tracks, in my opinion. Number 7, we're going to go with Britny Fox. They're from Philadelphia. I do think that this is kind of an underrated later 80s hair band. Girl School is kind of a ridiculous track, but beyond that, I think they got some really nice gems. Long Way to Love was a song that actually started to turn me on to them. Goodbye to Jane's pretty good. Their second album has some really good stuff on it. In Motion is a pretty good rockin' track. They have a cover of Hair of the Dog, Standing in the Shadows, Long Way from Home. And I do actually kind of like Dizzy Dean Davidson's voice. It's very Tom Kiefer-esque. I don't like it as much as Tom Kiefer, but I do enjoy it quite a bit. They also have a song after he left the band on their third album called the album's called Bite Down Hard. The song that I really like, I'm drawing a blank. There's a song on that one that I really like though. I'm drawing a blank. I'll have to revisit the issue some other time, but I should have looked it up. But there's a song on that album that I really do like too. So Britny Fox, gonna be number 7. Number 6, I'm gonna go with the Badleys. This is a band that if you're not from Pennsylvania, you may not have heard of before. They hail from Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, which is not far from where I live, only about an hour, maybe an hour 15 away from here. They are a band that, if you like kind of 90s alternative rock, this is a band that might be up your alley. I pulled out the CDs that I do have from these guys. I don't have all of them, but this, I believe, is their second album, if I'm not mistaken. The Unfortunate Result of Spare Time. Some cool tracks on here. I recommend Better Way to Save the World is probably my favorite on this one. Their biggest album, River Songs, I know I've brought this one up on the channel before. Angelina's Coming Home and Fear of Falling get some radio play in the area. I like both those songs. Really love Angelina's Coming Home. Angels of Mercy, Queen of Perfection, Gwendolyn, Or Hill, Nothing Much of Anything. And the tongue-in-cheek closer, I Liked You Better When You Hated Yourself. Some really good stuff. I do recommend this album. This would be a good starting point for anybody interested. But we also got Up There, Down Here. This one's a pretty solid one too. Probably my second favorite to River Songs. The first half is solid. Don't Let Me Hide, Luther's Window, Thinking in Ways, Which One of You, Little Hell, 34 Winters, Middle of the Busiest Road, Celebird and Zithler, which is a short little instrumental piece, but I kind of like it. It's a nice little interlude. So good stuff. This one's probably my second favorite to River Songs. Released the same year as that one was Amazing Grace. This one maybe not quite as solid, but I think has some nice standouts like Long Good Night, really good. Poison Ivy's cool, Beyond These Walls. So this one's got some nice standout tracks on it as well. Renew. This one was released in 2002. I like the title track. Hindsight Sing, one of my favorite songs from the band. Too Many Changes. See Me as a Picture. I Don't Believe in You. So some good stuff there. And the most recent I have is their 2009 album, Love is Rain. Really like the songs Peter Pan, Star to Fall, Don't Ever Let Me Down, Well Laid Plans, and Radio at Night. So some good stuff there. If you're interested in that style of music, I definitely recommend looking into them because they're pretty good band. Number 5, I'm going to go with Kate Herity. She's a singer-songwriter from Wilkes-Barre, which is about an hour to an hour and a half northeast of where I'm from. I don't own any of the EPs or anything that she's put out, and she's really just a local artist, and I somehow discovered her music back in 2009, and I still listen to it, and it's a little bit different from what I normally listen to. It's a little bit more, I don't know if I want to say borderline like folky, but it's very singer-songwriter. Wouldn't really consider it like rock or anything like that, but I've always quite enjoyed everything she has. I have a SoundCloud app just to listen to her music because it's not all on YouTube. So um, if that's something that you're more interested in, I definitely recommend checking her out because I think she has got some really great songs. Breathless is my personal favorite from hers, but also has songs like Pieces of You, um, Wake Up, Living Proof is really good. Um, really don't know that I've heard a song from her that I didn't like, but I've never traveled up that way to see her perform. But from you know my vantage point, finding her stuff online, I think she is a fantastic songwriter. Number 4, let's go with Fuel, the alt rock band from the late 90s, early 2000s. They are from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Now they moved to Harrisburg. I don't think they're actually from the area, but they moved there to get to sort of make it big. I own their first 2 albums right here. Got these both relatively recently. Always dug Shimmer, always dug Hemorrhage. Last Time's really cool too. Bad Day. So dug the hits for a long time, and as soon as I picked these 2 up, I kind of realized I really actually like both of these albums a lot. So Fuel, I'm gonna put them in the number 4 spot. Number 3. This was tough because my top 3 are pretty much far and away my top 3. I didn't know what order I wanted to put them in. But number 3, I'm gonna go with from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Cinderella. One of the true underrated bands of that era, in my opinion. I think they were just a great bluesy hard rock band. I think this album cover maybe didn't really do them justice because that looks pretty hair bandy, if you will. But I think they really grew beyond that image. Of course, this album right here, Night Songs, their debut, is a great start to their career. They would go on to release Long Cold Winter, which personally is my favorite album from them. Heartbreak Station in 1990, their third album. They really start moving away from this sort of sound, kind of a lot bluesier, which I guess they started going with the bluesier rock sound on Long Cold Winter, but I think they really go farther in that direction on Heartbreak Station. Of course, their 4th studio album, The Underrated, Still Climbing. So only 4 albums, but solid discography. Cinderella, going to be my number 3. Number 2, also hailing from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I'm going to go with the Hooters, responsible for a lot of great mid-'80s hits such as And We Danced, All You Zombies, and Where Did the Children Go? Some of my personal favorites, Day by Day, Satellite, Carla with a K. I think their Zigzag album is quite underrated. Songs like Brother Don't You Walk Away, Deliver Me, and Beat Up Guitar, which references Philadelphia. And of course, Out of Body, their follow-up to Zigzag, released in 1993. Underrated album as well. Has my favorite Hooter song of all time, which is Boys Will Be Boys, a song that they duet with Cyndi Lauper. So great band right there, the Hooters. Very underrated, very talented band. I have them coming in at number 2. So number 1, and really I'm going with this because when I think of Pennsylvania, this is probably the band that comes to my mind first and foremost. They do come from a town much closer to me than Philadelphia. That would be none other than Breaking Benjamin. Breaking Benjamin formed in Wilkes-Barre, which is about an hour and a half northeast. Ben Burnley moved from New Jersey to Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania when he was about 12 years old. Selinsgrove, of course, is not that far from me either. It's about an hour south. But Breaking Benjamin is also kind of the band that started getting me into newer kind of music like this. In 2004, when this album was new, I was pretty much only into older 70s and 80s stuff. Was introduced to this from my dad, actually, and really dug it right off the bat. This and Saturate, I still think, very, very good albums. Phobia, not personally my favorite, but it does have my favorite Breaking Benjamin song of all time, which is Unknown Soldier. Dear Agony is a great album. I think Dark Before Dawn is quite underappreciated. And I kind of feel like we're about due for a new Breaking Benjamin album. I heard something about them putting out a new album, but it's been a while and I still haven't heard anything new, so I don't know where they're at in the process, but hopefully before too long we get some new Breaking Benjamin music, because it's been a long time since Ember. So there you have it, my top 10 bands from Pennsylvania. In the comments below, from whatever state you're from, or if you're not from the U.S., whatever country or city or province or whatever, give me a couple of bands that come from your area. And if you're interested in any of these groups that you may not have heard before, please do check them out, because I think they have some great music. So like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, and I will catch you next time.